can bigger, bolder, faster. Going to the maximum. Going to the maximum.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd just like to thank again for the organizers for inviting me over, and I'll be the host for this afternoon. Have you had lunch already? Okay, that's good. Okay, we cannot listen going hungry. That's the reason why right now I'm really excited to again, just to give you an idea of who we are going to talk to again. Number one, he is a 14-year-old professional athlete, eight-time champion and a medalist. As a matter of fact, I'm asking for one of your medal or probably champion ring.
Oh, you want one?
Yes, if ever. He's an acting, for the foreigners who are non-Filipino, he is the captain or co-captain of Barangay Ginebra. The most popular team in the Philippines is just like the LA Lakers in the NBA. And currently right now he's the CoinPH Tier 1 head KOL or key influencer, helping to educate communities. Again, let us welcome Mr. Jared Dillinger. Let's give him a hand. And next is the founder of VA Staffer, a virtual staffing agency with over 150 people, team members in the Philippines. Jeff J. Hunter, please. And the next, founder and chief experience officer of Kairos, consultant in UX, CX, and accessibility. That also, she's also the incoming president of EMAP, Dennis Hack. Okay, Dennis? Entrepreneur and the co-founder of 3 companies offering decentralized finance solution, building on blockchain technology. She's also the president of Women Blockchain Asia, a non-profit organization that educates, empower more Asian women to participate in the blockchain space. Aida from Malaysia. Come on, let's give her a round of applause. So we're going to talk about Web3, and anyone can answer this question for the benefit of the people probably who is joining this type of talk. Can you please define Web3 in a very simple idea and concept? Jared? Jay?
Well, I think that to understand Web 3, you have to understand Web 1 and Web 2. So Web 1 is where you build a website. It's something that people can read and digest, but they don't interact with. It's just an information. Web 2 gives you the ability to collaborate with other people. You don't own anything on it, but that's like Facebook and Gmail. You can log in and you get some access to it. Web 3 is actually when you own assets on the web, where we start creating a more ownership society where instead of Facebook owning all of our information, we own the information in our wallet, and we have full control over what that data does.
Okay, Jared, do you want to add anything about it?
That was pretty solid. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to be redundant and just piggyback off what Jeff was saying. He's correct. I don't want to go. Let's continue on with the conversation.
Okay.
Let's go.
So why don't you talk about the benefits of Web3?
Okay, sure. Well, again, just to go off of what Jeff was saying, it is, we're getting full ownership of our assets, correct? Everything's transparent on the blockchain. We can see who's sending what to who and whatnot. I think, as an example, so let's say these video games like Minecraft or Roblox. In these video games, you buy items that you can play with. However, these items that you purchase, you don't own any of these things within the constructs of the game. Now with Web3, when you do purchase these items and things for the video games that you want to play, you actually own them. And in essence, you can buy, sell, trade through the blockchain. So I think just that small example right there is really a good benefit.
How about you, Denise? What are the benefits of Web3 technology?
So I think what they're trying to explain is usually when you talk about owning your own stuff, you talk about something that's very private. One of the benefits of Web3 is that it's very transparent. And so there's an ability for us to kind of self-monitor each other. But because those things on Web3 are non-mutable or immutable, we also have that security of you can't touch stuff, you can't change stuff, you can't delete stuff. And it allows for a very equal playing field where before there were a few people that controlled the web. Now we can all work together to help influence how we do things on the web, and that's Web3. Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any answer for that, Ida?
I think the answers were pretty good on the general Web3, so I'm happy to just proceed.
Okay. Guys, one of the most difficult thing, I don't know if you're asked this question, what if the system is going to be manipulated because it's people's making the input? So how do you answer that? Oftentimes when I'm interviewed over radio and TV, that's always the FUD, the question that often asked. So how do you counter that question?
As in, how does the content is fake, for example? Is
Yeah,
it?
because like for example, they still have what they doubt. It can be manipulated or it can be reconstructed. So how do you answer it properly?
Well, the thing is that I think a majority of you have to understand is this, okay? Web3 is basically a variation product out of the blockchain. You need to have the blockchain first before you actually could materialize and make Web3 work. So you cannot divorce these two. So to answer that is to answer the blockchain. How do you know it's a fake? You know, how do you counter that? It's because of the consensus mechanism that is built inside the blockchain. So one thing, take one scenario. The first one, the first block, the first information of the block which is pushed into the blockchain is rubbish, is fake. The way the blockchain works is that it is able to then produce other blocks to then push the fake block further down, and so that it sort of like drown out the rubbish noise. Secondly, before the fake noise can go into it, the rubbish can go into and be published on the blockchain, it needs a 51% consensus to say that this is correct, this is true, we validate it, and then only it gets published. So that is, I'm sure Denise can add more on the tech part, but I know on the general scale, but this is the two. So on the blockchain, as you can see, this is how it's done. So all these has to be done before it actually move to the Web3. So that's how I would put it.
Anyone who has other answers for that?
Yeah, I guess because we didn't clarify, for those that don't know, when you're talking about Web3, the servers where this stuff is stored, they're not in one place. They're distributed. So already there, that makes for a great kind of check and balance since they're distributed servers around the world. It's very hard to kind of fudge data that way. I guess that's the best way to...
Good. Who among you are business people here? Can you please raise up your hands? Business people? Creators, or developers? So we want to know how does the Web3 technology can impact business people, consumers, or probably creators. Anyone? Jared?
Sure. Well, I think people in general, we like to congregate in communities. We have tribes, per se. And in Web3, that's really all we talk about, correct? We talk about community, right? That's all we really drive and push that we're trying to grow into this mass adoption. I mean, I don't want to get too technical. It's not rocket science. I mean, if you could help me with this a little
Jeff
bit.
J.
I guess for me, I'm going to be the pessimist here.
Yeah.
Because for me, the thing about Web3 that's mind-boggling and that I love so much about it is that, like, especially when I come to the Philippines, I've been to the Philippines so many times over the years, and so many people here just don't trust the banks. Like, I bet you like 50% of this room, like, they have more money under their bed than in the bank. And I'm seeing people nod, so I guess that's true. So
Don't tell us where you live.
yeah, so like for me, it excites me, especially in developing nations, to have a reliable way to do transactions without having corrupt banks that run everything, that are all in your lives. And you know, one of the things that I'm really, we think about what's happened in Ukraine and Russia. We look at what's been happening in different countries where easily banks, when countries go bad and the governments have a problem, and what do? The first thing they do is they go freeze your money, right? So I think that's kind of a roundabout way, but for me, I really believe the Web3 technology, especially for business and human, it just gives us a sense of community, of accountability, where we actually own our assets and no one is able to take those away. And that's what I think is the most important part.
I want to add, for those of you that are small business owners, Web3 is going to be your jam, guys. Because in Web 2, it was all of these guys that had the most influence, the most money, and the most control that would dominate the business space. You'd have big multinational FMCG groups that had all the resources to throw behind their efforts in Web 2, and that's why they would dominate business. Web 3 democratizes that. So Web 3 actually allows small business owners that might not have the most money or resource or traditional power and influence, and as long as you are aware of what's going on with the tribe and the community that you're a part of, as long as you create stuff that people believe in and want to support, it doesn't matter if you have the most resource, like in Web 2. I think that's the biggest impact.
Well, guys, come to think of this. Who among you have a Facebook account? Who uploads the videos? We do. Pictures. We comment. We likes. We do the like. But who makes the money?
Facebook.
And they always change the algorithm. So right now, all of us right now, as creators, at the same time, small business owners, we have an opportunity to be just like a Facebook. Is that right, what you're saying?
Exactly. We can fight them because they don't control everything. Yeah.
That's the reason why it's very important for all of us inside this room, if you know so much about Web3 already or you don't know much, this is really the time to learn. It's either you innovate or you evaporate. You do not change, you become extinct. You want to add something, Ida?
Yeah, I would like to say one Web3 concept that revolutionized product and go-to-market is this. Under the Web 2 basis is that you take a punt as a company. You create a product, and then essentially, based on research, you sell the product. And hopefully, out of 10, you hit 6, okay? Now, what Web3 too, because of this co-created economy, and I emphasize the word co-creation economy, is that here, you now have a product that is being massaged by your potential buyers who say, if I have a watch that works like this, I would buy it.
Yeah.
And I will put my money on it to show that I will buy it. So as a result, you're shaping that product based on your buyers. And you know the buyers is going to buy it. Now this is completely new. It's targeted, you cover more, you spend less, and it's far more efficient. From a corporate business basis, it is actually smart business.
Yeah, actually, I do agree with this. You know why? This is my problem right now. With social media, at Facebook alone, I have over 5 million followers. Before, I just sneeze and then probably I'll get 100,000 views or 1 million views. But right now, with those followers, I can hardly get 50,000, 100,000 because they're making it more difficult. That's the reason I want to challenge you that you and I, all of us inside this room, really need to create a Web3 thing and then a community thing so that we will be able to connect with them directly. Do you all agree? Come on. So right now, let's talk about what actions should we take right now to really improve inclusion in terms of Web3 technology at the same time to help us to differentiate ourselves in the market. Okay, Jared J? I'm sorry, Jeff J.
Jeff J.
Yeah.
JJ works for me. I like JJ. JJ.
Okay.
Well, as a creator, I think that we're always faced with these challenges. I know when I went viral, when I became TikTok famous a year ago, that was very interesting. I feel like TikTok, for example, we need more short form video format. There isn't really a whole lot going on. Facebook, everybody's regulating how much they want to see. And the reason why you're only getting 50,000 views with 5 million followers because they want you to boost it. They want you to pay, right? So it's about control again, right? And now Facebook's facing lower and lower revenue problems, so they're forced to it. And you're like, well, shoot, I guess I can just boost this for $5 or whatever and get another couple thousand views. So I guess, first off, I'm in complete alignment. And but I have to say, I think this is the time right now, guys, especially like we've gone through all this FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried stuff, when, there's just so many bad actors out there. I think that it's really time for us to be the good guy and start building our own personal brands and start showing people the value that we can do. And that way, I don't think it matters what platform we're on. People always ask me like, oh, what's your platform? I'm like, yes. Like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, because who knows what's going to happen. Look at Elon Musk. Twitter, who I thought after Trump got banned, it was going to die. And now it's like, thriving again. So I would just say we have to take a diverse approach. And I don't know what that Web3 social platform is going to be that we take off, but it's important to start building your audience now because everybody's seeking an audience, and that's why you have to build one.
Jared, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, content is king, Yes, there are a lot of fraudulent people in this space, but in general, there are always going to be fraudulent players in any industry that you're going to be in. So like Jeff was saying, we do need to come together, right? As a Web3 community, we all need to build up our brands, protect our IP, and again, from what I'm noticing, you guys, look, this is my first blockchain event I've ever been to. Now, I've been in the space for 2 years, which feels like 20, but technically it's not very long. And what I am noticing through these congregations that we're having, that everyone's helping each other out. Everyone's connecting. Everyone's trying to really push this entire space forward. So as long as we have that with the ideologies of where we're trying to take this, hey, within a certain amount of time, within a week, a year, as long as we stay on this path that we're continuing on, hey, we're going to be okay.
Last question, but I want everyone to answer this question. What are the future skills or opportunities that we can maximize or probably we can utilize that will open doors for us in this Web3 technology? Okay, let's start with, yeah.
Well, maybe I'm biased, but marketing is by far, doesn't matter what industry you're in, what you do. If you learn how to market, you're going to be valuable. There's people in this room right here that are probably thinking about wow, how can I get into Web3? And you don't even have to know Web3 to do marketing. All you have to know is how to get attention. So I would say focus in on how to build attention, how to get people to hype and understand what you do, and also learn how to speak to people at a lower level, at a simpler level. I purposely speak the majority of my time at a 6th grade level, on purpose.
Denise?
So I think it's not a skill that you will learn in college or anywhere else, but it's a very important skill when it comes to this side of tech. Because there's a lot of very intelligent, genius people in tech, and that's the brain part. But the skill I think that's most important is empathy. You're going to need to learn that heart, because how many of you are on a crypto exchange right now? Okay. Can you take a guess how many blind people are on a crypto exchange? Blind. So we're talking about a space and an evolution of the web and our experience of the web where we're supposed to accept and include everybody. And we're not thinking about how to make it such that somebody who's blind or has low vision or is even hearing impaired to fully maximize that experience. And so empathy for me would be the #1 skill we're going to need to pick up if we're going to deliver great Web3 experiences. Thank you.
Jared? Okay. How about you, Ida?
Well, I'm in finance. I'm in decentralized finance, DeFi, and blockchain. So the tech skill cannot be escaped. I always said this, you can talk blockchain until your face is blue. Ultimately, you still need a coder to code it. You need a coder to basically architect the whole framework out. So the tech skill is needed. But I would like to talk about what I am here for, which is basically representing the women. Okay? I believe we need more women in this space because I have come across, yes, thank you. Because I have come across from my exposure, from reading, from research, that when women code, when women build a UI, when women think about all these things, we think very differently. We pay attention to, do I scroll up or do I scroll down? Do I flick left or flick left or right? How do I hold it on my right hand or my left hand? Things that you don't pay attention to, but it is immaterial. But when women build on blockchain, we always, and I will tell you this, women builders always build for a purpose. And the purpose is always tied to family, education, social, community. It always does that. Therefore, we need that. And that is the skill, and that is something that Women in Blockchain Asia is pushing really hard, starting with building the female tech.
Okay. So do we have Q&A for this or no more? Okay. So guys, before I leave you, did you learn something in this session? Come on. Let's give all of them a round of applause. For first-timers and at the same time for people who are starting up on this blockchain technology, at the same time Web3, let me ask you this final question. Do you believe that experience is the best teacher? Yes or no? Yes. I beg to disagree. Ask me why. Especially in blockchain technology, Web3, you may make a mistake, you make a foul up. It's so hard to rebuild your name and reputation. Do you agree? It's not because that you want to cheat people or you want to shortchange anyone, but if it's a mistake, it's an honest mistake, it's still a mistake. So I highly recommend learning from other people's mistakes and experiences is the best teacher. Before you get into this, get the best coders, get the best consultants, get the best, because especially this should be part of your investment. Do not do it on the fly. At the same time, do not try to learn it on your own. Get the best. Learn before you start. And last, with Web3, I do believe this. I do believe in the 97-3 rule. Are you familiar with the 97-3 rule? It says it's the 3% of the people that shows the evidence first to the 97% before the 97% would want to do what the 3% are doing. So my challenge to you this afternoon, which group do you want to belong to? To the 3% or 97%? It's up to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and God